And in Trinidad and Tobago, residents really have mixed feelings toward the former FIFA vice president. Many consider Warner a Robin Hood of sorts, while others think he is single-handedly dragging the country's name through the mud. With us now on the line to give us some perspective on these latest accusations is Jabari Fraser. He is a journalist at the Caribbean Communications Network. Thanks so much for joining us once again this evening. Firstly, the claim that Warner had embezzled money from the Haiti Relief Fund is not a new allegation. The Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation first made these allegations back in 2012. So is there really any solid evidence to substantiate these claims?
Yes, there is, and these allegations are nothing new. They have actually been reported by local media since 2012. But the newest allegation that really came out yesterday was that in 2011, before the Caribbean Football Union met in Porto, Spain, where some bribes are alleged to have taken place, Mohammed bin Hammam, who was then running for FIFA president, is alleged to have paid Jack Warner $1.2 million for organizing the meeting at which the bribes were said to be distributed. So that is the newest side of the story. And really and truly, Haiti and the money that went supposedly into Jack Warner's pockets from Haiti, we knew about this a long time ago.
And there are also some claims that Warner used the embezzled funds immediately after the earthquake to influence politics there in Trinidad and Tobago. Some people even say he went as far to buy votes. Is there any truth to that? And what might be his interest there in influencing politics?
Well, I don't know if I can say to buy votes, but definitely that I can say that his money was used to fund part of the current government's 2010 election campaign. And Mr. Warner has been releasing checks and documents to prove that he funded the Prime Minister's campaign. And even though he has been denying that tooth and nail, he supposedly has these documents which prove that he contributed to the campaign. For example, last week he released a series of checks over 1.7 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars to prove that he funded the current government's campaign. And of course, he was a minister in that government. He was Minister of Works, and then he was promoted to Minister of National Security, where some of these alleged wrongdoings were said to have taken place, and he protected himself.
And so that might explain why the Prime Minister there once considered herself a close friend and ally of Jack Warner. And when this latest scandal did first come to light, she supported Warner. Does she continue that support today?
Well, no, she doesn't, because they are both now bitter enemies, and he has his own political party. But most definitely, these allegations against Mr. Warner have been around for decades, and they got particularly bad after the 2006 World Cup ticket scandal. And since then, the Prime Minister supported him, and even when all of the corruption allegations were very serious, especially in 2011, she threw her full support behind him, and now they're bitter enemies, as I said.
And finally, as we said earlier, in some circles there, Warner has been considered some sort of Robin Hood. Why is that, and does that sentiment continue within some groups in the country?
Yes, it does continue within some groups in the country, and I can say to you for sure that Mr. Warner has used a lot of his resources to make himself a friend of the grassroots man. And he has done, and he continues to be very supportive of the constituents who he represents in the Trinidad and Tobago Parliament. He works very long hours. He works sometimes. It's not unknown for him to be in his office at 3 o'clock seeing different constituents, 3 o'clock in the morning. And, many people come to him and ask him for various things, whether it's money, whether it's to fix something at their house, etc., etc. And for the most part, he does what he can to help the people.
All right, Jabari Fraser, thanks so much once again for joining us from Trinidad and Tobago as we continue to cover the activities there of former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner.